Losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it. If you got a story we don't tell, it's happy or gory, so come share your losing it story. Yeah. So hi, everybody. Welcome to Losing It with me, Nelsie Spencer. This is the podcast where people come and tell stories about losing it. And I like to say it's life lessons from some of my favorite losers. And I'm really excited to be back. And I've lost so many things since we last spoke, but gained so much. And one of the things I've gained is a new producer. And my new producer came to me a few weeks ago, and we've been getting our shit together. He's been helping me get my shit together, really, to be honest about it. And as a matter of fact, he's going to be my first guest on this new season. So I'm going to introduce Ronnie Whaley. Hey, Ronnie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Cold.
You're cold. You're in New Hampshire, yes?
Yes, I'm in New Hampshire and it's freezing right now. It's snowing like crazy.
See, and I'm a little jealous because I like the snow. I'm on the Jersey Shore and it's raining. I mean, at least snow is pretty.
Yeah, that's the thing. I like looking at snow from indoors. That's my favorite thing to do. But like standing outside, probably like 5 minutes or less.
I like being in the snow with my dog because dogs are, for dogs, snow was like Disney World. They're like, this is the greatest. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about you.
Sure.
First of all, I found Ronnie because Lindsay, my previous producer, who I adore, has moved on to greener pastures. Fuck her. No, I'm just kidding. I love her. She got married. She's living in Boston. And then she has said, well, why don't you reach out to Boss, who was a coworker of hers and a slight friend of mine that I met him through Lindsay. And so I finally, after months of going, you know what? I can't maintain this on my own. I can't do it. I was meditating, as a matter of fact. And it was like, reach out to Boss, Nelsie. What the heck? Get help. Yeah. You need help, basically. It was like my inner voice said, you need to get some help. And so then I emailed Boss and he's like, hey, Nelsie, great to hear from you, but I'm really busy with my own projects. But, why don't you reach out to my friend Ronnie? And so I reached out to Ronnie and lo and behold, here you are.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like at the same time I was reaching out to people who had podcasts and seeing if I could just edit episodes like video just so that I could build a portfolio because I wanted to get into the podcast space. So it's just kind of really lucky how that all just happened.
It's just this fabulous synergy which happens. For me, it was like the heavens opened up and I heard angels singing because you said yes and you are excited about it and you can, if you haven't already been doing what I need to do, you're a millennial, so all you have to do is you can figure it out.
I mean, I just sit in front of a computer all day, so.
Yeah, no, if you guys had been with us for the last, it's been almost a solid hour, Ronnie helping me get the mic going. Do I have headphones? I mean, my palms are sweating. I'm going to have to change this shirt when we're done. For me, it was extremely stressful. And if Ronnie, if you were stressed, you hit it very nicely.
Oh, no, I've seen way worse. Like dealing with my mom on the computer is like, luckily, I can handle it, but
just tell me I'm more savvy than your mother. That's all I care.
Yeah, no, 100%. Sorry, Mom, but.
I feel I'm competitive. I can't help it. And I also feel like because I'm, because I Zoom, and because I've been working remotely, since this pandemic started, and because, I do a lot of stuff that's, technical, and I've been having a podcast for a while. I feel pretty savvy for somebody of my age.
Yeah.
But it's really easy for those feelings to just crumble and like a house of cards when I don't have the right headphones.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's all a learning curve, right?
So I reached out to Ronnie, and miraculously, you were simultaneously kind of looking to do what I needed somebody to do.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
was.
met me, and you were like, "Oh my God, she's so amazing."
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't sleep for like 3 days.
Yeah, I fed him all that. I'm just handing him $20 bills to make him say nice things about me. So, so here we are, and that was a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago, maybe.
Yeah, I don't even know anymore. This
Yeah.
year is so weird.
No, exactly. Every day is weird. You
Yeah.
know, it's Blur's day, right? Every day is
Yeah.
Blur's day. So we came up with a great idea. We're like, let's just start doing this podcast again. And Ronnie's like, well, we need to do a practice one. And I was like, you want to be my first practice? And so here he is.
Here I am. You know, it's funny. When you told me about this, I forgot about the whole, like, I was so focused on like the website and like, you know, all the other like equipment and stuff. I forgot that being a guest on this podcast means that I have to tell a losing it story. And I was super like focused on everything else. And then like, I remember today I was like, oh crap, I'm supposed to like have something prepared. And I had a couple things, but I wanted to think about them a little bit more because well, first of all, I'm really unsure if I should tell him. And then you were the one who said, if you're unsure, you should probably tell him. So I had to think. I wanted to give myself some time to think about it, but then I didn't, and so I just have to.
Well, here's the thing. I say to my potential guests, you know, there's probably a story that you really want to tell, but you're not sure you can tell. And I always say that's probably the one you should tell, only because it's got the most juice. You know, it's got the most stuff behind it. But keep in mind that, you know, if you tell me it and you're like, you think about it, you're like, Nelsie, I don't want you to do it. We won't do it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to, well, sorry, Ronnie, you spilled your guts and you changed your mind, but tough shit because I am all powerful.
The thing is that like, I know it would be a good podcast episode. So like, it's kind of like, I'm like weighing it out. Like, yeah, I should tell this story. Well, maybe I'll leave a couple things out
before we, or put them in and then we edit. Guess what? Who's editing this? Guess who's editing this?
That's true.
So, but before we get to the story, so tell me a little bit about yourself. I already know a little. Mm-hmm. I know that you were born in the Philippines. Yes.
Yeah, I was born in the Philippines. My dad's American. My mom's a Filipino. And I was born in the Philippines, raised there my whole life, and then moved here in 2018. I moved to New York in 2018. And yeah, then I moved back and forth, and then now I'm here again.
Yeah. So, oh, really? So how long have you been for this last stint?
So it's been a year now. I came in November of last year, and now it's been over a year, and it's been really weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right. Because you were living in New York and then the pandemic happened. Yes.
Yeah, I was living in New York. I was working for a men's fashion company, doing like content for them. And then all of a sudden, you know, New York shuts down. And, you know, my friend Abaz that we know, he was like, my parents have a cabin up in New Hampshire. We should leave today.
That is the kind of friend you want to have.
Yeah.
Anybody that starts a sentence with "my parents have a cabin," and there's recently been announced that there's a pandemic. That's so great. So you guys left right away, yes?
Yeah, probably like right in the morning. We just left. Like we gathered all our stuff, and I was, you know, what's funny is we had we went out the weekend before. And I was saying, like, we should have a little get together this weekend, like invite a bunch of people that we met. And because it was still at the point we were like, what this coronavirus, you know, like swine flu, like it's all over there. It's not.
Yeah. Other people get this. And P.S. this whole quarantine thing is going to last for 10 days, 3 weeks. Yeah, exactly. Tops. Yeah.
And so I was all like, why maybe we shouldn't go because I'm going to miss out on like, you know, having a good time this weekend. And he was like, no, you don't understand. He's trying to convince me like, hey, no, we need to go like tomorrow. And I was thinking about like, you know, maybe it'll be a fun little road trip. And then once we get up there, I started getting a bunch of texts, from, like my boss saying like, okay, don't come, no one come to work.
Right. Because that's really, yeah. So it went from like, oh, this is ridiculous to like, yeah, everybody stay home. I remember for me, it was kind of cool because I mean, it's, the coronavirus has been very, very good to me. I mean, it's like, I don't have to leave my home and I still get to do my job.
Yeah.
And turns out that when there's a pandemic, people have time to write. So I have all these new clients. It's like, oh, remember that novel that you've been thinking about writing for 10 years or whatever. So, but yeah, so it went from like seeming like this kind of big deal, like you said, that was happening to other people. And then the next thing you know, everybody's, locked down.
World.
The whole world.
Yeah. It's insane.
And do you and Boss still like each other after all this time?
Oh man, that's a tough one. We've had a frequent ups and downs.
I'll bet, right? It's hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. And we're also living with his brother and his brother's girlfriend. So there's 4 of us.
Okay. Suddenly it's a sitcom. Am I right?
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, man, the biggest thing is the kitchen. The kitchen is because that's like where everyone goes. Everyone's a part of that room. So there's constantly, we have a group chat, on WhatsApp, and the messages, the messages that go through that group chat
are always like, who left out the butter?
Yeah, exactly. Or,
where's my cheese?
Exactly. Or wash your fucking dishes, asshole. And it gets really bad, and then it's like, we have every Friday we like hang out and we're like, yeah, I really didn't appreciate how you left that knife out on the sink.
Oh my God. And the thing is if it's a WhatsApp chat, then you feel like your tone can be anything. It's much easier to say, put the fucking knife away on a WhatsApp chat than say that to your friend's face.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, that's the thing about texting, right? It's like, there's no tone.
There's no tone.
So you can say whatever you want.
Yeah. And there's no fist that's going to come at your face because
yeah, exactly. You can just say whatever you want.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, but that is not uncommon right now in this world. So
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I have to say that now my husband and I had a lot of practice because we've been married for over 30 years, but, and I have been working from home and so is he. So we had some practice, but we still like each other. Like, I don't think we've had we might've had a couple of like scale of 1 to 10, like 6.57 bites, but for the most part, we've been getting along, because
that's good.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. It's great. And, I know what to expect from him in the kitchen. Right. So it's not like I'm like, you didn't close the kitchen cabinet door again. Like, I just know he doesn't do that. He doesn't do it. He's not ever going to do it, but he does laundry and he brings me coffee every morning.
Oh,
so,
that's true. Setting up expectations.
Yeah. You just have to go and he's my, he's my spouse. It's a whole different thing, right?
Yeah.
Than roommates.
Yeah.
But so
100%.
But you and Boss are still speaking to each other.
Yeah.
There was a hesitation. Yes. Did you notice? There was a hesitation.
I was going to say, now we are. Yeah.
Oh, man.
We are. Ask me next week. I can't tell you. I can't give you a sure answer.
Oh, man. Okay. So just, all right. I'm just, I'm sending all of you guys lots of love and lots of compassion. And just always remember that some people are good at some things and some people are good at other things.
I totally understand that.
What are you good at? What's your strong suit and your weakness in the kitchen, in the roommate department?
Oh, okay. Well, in the kitchen, I definitely know that my weakness, my downfall is probably just like the dishes. Like, I don't go crazy leaving a bunch of dishes in the sink. I'll leave like maybe 1 or 2, and then I'll wash it like 5 hours later. I count, but I count, and they really don't appreciate that. And so, but I guess my strong suit, which I'm kind of like an unsung hero, is that I clean up after people and I don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Just keep a level in the household.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I do that too. And I've had this, it's been a recent switch I've had from
Mhm.
doing it with like an attitude of resentment of like, I'm cleaning this fucking counter again to like, I am so grateful that I can be of service. I'm so grateful that I can be of service this way. And I'm telling you, it works.
Oh
Ronnie,
yeah.
it works because if I'm doing something with like resentment and waiting for somebody to notice and give me credit, or waiting for the chance to go, well, I cleaned up after, the chance to make a
Yeah.
snarky comment. Like,
Yeah.
it's too exhausting.
Honestly, yeah, that's my whole thing. Like it's just way too exhausting. And like I like can't do that.
Yeah, good. So yeah, so you have the 5-hour rule, the 5-hour dirty dish rule.
But no one really knows that. It's just me.
They will now. They will now.
Honestly, I don't know. It's been a while. It's been almost a year. So,
Wow. All right. So you come to New York, you leave the Philippines, and did you come with like, I'm not looking back kind of a thing?
No. Well, the reason that I moved to New York is because I had an ex-girlfriend and she was going there for a 1-year internship, and she left, and 3 months later I followed, and that's how I got my introduction into New York. That I stayed with her and we lived together. But I was always saying that I was gonna come back. I was everything was up in the air. I was like 21 or something, so like anything was up in the air.
Yeah. But now you're a seasoned 24-year-old, and everything's solidly in place.
Everything's changed.
Everything's solidly in place. You know who you are, where you're going. Yeah. Because I know when I moved to New York from California, like my mom, and I only found this out like decades later, she was like, she thought I'd be here for 2 years and then come back. And I never went back. And I didn't
Really?
think I was coming back. I was moving to New York to have my life. And
you knew before you left.
I did, because I was going there to go to acting school, and there was nothing, my family was in California, but I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to be in the theater. Don't ask me why. I should have stayed in LA and done improv, to be honest.
Really?
But hindsight is all, because anyway, we'll talk more about that later. I think hindsight is 2020. It's really easy to look back at my age and go, if I had just, joined the Groundlings, or because I think my strong suit is comedy, and I came to New York and, went to acting school to be a serious actor. And I mean, I think I'm a fine actor, but I don't think it's necessarily my biggest talent. So anyway, the whole point of that is that, my mom thought she was going to see me in 2 years. And I moved here and stayed here and got married and had babies,
Yeah.
So you left and then came back. And are you thinking, I mean, of course there's a pandemic now, but are you thinking you're going to hang here for a while?
I mean, yeah, I think so. But I definitely feel like visiting at some point. It's so weird because I've grown up there my whole life, and then coming here, I don't speak Tagalog, the Filipino language, right? And everyone in the Philippines says I'm super American and I'm super westernized, which I am. But then when I come here to the States, I feel super out of place because I'm not from here.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a profoundly different culture. Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's like I get culture shocked, coming to the States, and when I'm at home, when I feel at home, people think I'm a foreigner. So it's kind of like I'm a fish out of water wherever I'm at.
Wow, that's interesting. And do you have siblings?
I do. I have 2. Yeah.
Where are you in the birth order?
I'm oldest. I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Oh,
yeah, and we're all 4 years apart. And it was unplanned. It was just lucky. Yeah. It's lucky. My dad's just lucky. Skillful. Yeah, just unplanned, but came out perfectly. Yeah. Mom had a nice 4-year rest in between both. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
She warm up,
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because I know that, I grew up in California, south of LA, and then somewhere after I'd been here for, I don't know, for maybe 10 years. Yeah, a little over 10 years. I went back to California to do my play. And I had this culture shock just coming from New York to Los Angeles. And I grew up on the West Coast. So I can imagine the culture shock from the Philippines to Manhattan. But you were living in Brooklyn or Manhattan? Or
I was living in Harlem for a while. West Harlem.
Represent. I lived in Harlem for 8 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was near Columbia.
I was 150th in Riverside.
Oh, I was 125th Riverside.
Nice neighborhood.
It is nice. There was a park.
Near the fairway that's up there, right?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know what that is.
It's a fancy / farmer market type of grocery store.
Oh, yeah. No, we had no kitchen, so. Yeah, I was
welcome to Harlem.
Yeah, exactly. I was living in like a dorm with my girlfriend. She was in a dorm. It was, I don't know what it was, honestly. It was called iHouse.
Was she going to Columbia?
No, she wasn't. She was working in an internship, and she didn't know how to find a place, but she found this dorm type thing that Columbia students or anybody could just stay at. And I stayed with her in a single bed in a tiny closet of a room.
Wow. Probably wasn't even legally a room. Probably might have been a closet.
Probably not. Yeah. Yeah, well, New York, right?
Well, I am so happy that, this is the first time we've hung out. Really?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. Formally.
Yeah. We talked on the phone, we've done emails, but so I'm excited to learn more about you. And I'm excited about this new venture and what Losing It's going to bring in this new iteration. Is that the right word? This new form. I can't come up with the right word. This new chapter. Thank you. Feel free at any point to finish my sentences for me. I'm just giving you permission because that word retrieval bullshit, it happens. But I think it might be time for you to tell us a story.
Yeah. So this is the story that I was kind of worried about telling, but that's why I want to tell it. It involves substances, which I may leave out. But
not on my account, honey. I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and the first time anybody handed me a joint, I was 13. So just know that. Just know that. I'm just telling you. Yeah.
To set the tone. All right. So in 2015, I was going to college in Manila, the capital of the Philippines, and I was staying in a dorm type situation again, but had a kitchen. And I was going out a lot. I was going out like every day and like doing really bad in college. Just cause like I started editing videos when I was in like the 3rd grade, and I learned everything. Yeah, I learned everything I needed to do through YouTube and the internet. And at some point in the classes, I was teaching a couple of them sometime. Like the professor would just be like, do you know how to do this? You just do it. So I would be like, so at that point I was like, why am I even going to this anymore?
Yeah.
I'm making stuff on my own, and like it's really just this piece of paper. So I was going out a lot. It was a weird time. I was going out a lot.
And to be fair, I think that happens to a very large percentage of kids that go to college, because there's this sense of freedom. And even if you should be paying attention in class and you need to be paying attention in class, there's a lot of people that are like, woohoo, and I think you're not alone.
Yeah. I just didn't understand. Like, I was really into the film classes. Like, of course I was really into the film classes, but then I was taking the stuff like calculus and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't understand why I need this. I feel like if I excel in this one area, then I'm going to be okay. So that's what I did. But I was also partying a lot because I was in college, like every day. Like we had a club or a bar scheduled for what time of the week it was. So Monday we would go to, Monday was our break.
It's good.
Yeah, exactly. Tuesday would be this place. Wednesday would be like black market. Thursday, So
Yeah. Every day, and even God rested on the seventh day. So,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'll compare myself to that guy.
to that guy.
Yeah, that guy. I heard about him. Yeah. So this on Thursdays at this place called Taft. It's like one of the biggest university areas. There's this bar that a lot of people go to, and then there was this new bar. And a bunch of my friends, probably like 10 guys of us, went there. And obviously we got really drunk. And there may have been some other substances around, some pills, some,
Here, take this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then, you take it and you don't remember if you took one. You know what I mean? So I may have been on a couple of those.
Wait,
maybe.
I want to slow down just for a second. What was your
Sure.
drink of choice, or was there no drink of choice? It was just like whatever.
I mean, at the time it was whatever, but it was beer. And then we have this thing in the Philippines called, I forgot the name of it, but basically what it is, it's like Kool-Aid mixed with tequila and vodka and beer. A wang wang.
Oh, wang wang. Oh my God.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, they used to have something called spooey parties. And that was a party you would have at somebody's house whose parents were out of town that weekend. And they would get a trash can and they would put Kool-Aid and any kind of, like, everyone would bring some alcohol from their parents' liquor cabinet and pour it in there. And they called it spooey. And it was a spooey party. And I wang wang sounds a little like spooey to me.
Yeah, it
sounds a little classier.
There was a fruit juice involved, a mix in the wang wang, only because it was just easier to get.
Yeah,
down
no,
at
there
that
was
point
lots
if you
of
had,
Kool-Aid in the
sugary
spooey.
drink.
There's Kool-Aid but
Yeah,
at least wang wang seems to have actually a recipe. Spooey was just whatever. And Kool-Aid.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it was just how can we get these kids really, out of there, spend as much money as possible. All their parents' money.
Yes, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Thursday night.
So we would buy those. We would buy them, and they're in the Philippines. It's like really cheap, that's like 100 pesos. So that's like $2 for one pitcher.
What? Oh,
a pitcher. Well, so it's insane. And beer is $1.
Oh my God! I hope you have government-sponsored rehab. I mean, that's scary.
Oh man, yeah, it's a little insane over there just because of the access. Access is really insane in the Philippines. So you learn quick. You learn quick over there.
Quick how to drink and how to throw up and what to do for a hangover. All those things.
Yeah, like IDing is not a thing in the Philippines.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a thing. Like I was able to buy alcohol at a 7-Eleven at any time, right? Like at any time of the day at like 15.
Wow.
Yeah. It's insane.
Oh man.
It's probably not a good thing.
No, that's not a good thing. But, some rules are good. Like keeping 15-year-olds away from alcohol.
Yeah. 100%. Make it hard.
Yeah, no. It's
alcohol.
That whole, your hippocampus or something, the part of your brain that is in charge of making decisions in men, it continues to grow up into your 20s, mid-20s. Like yours is probably just about to stop growing. So, and when you drink, it inhibits the growth of that part of your brain. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Now I'm really sounding like a mother that's read too many articles, and I apologize for that. But yeah, that's why those rules make sense. You right?
Oh yeah, 100%. And like kids driving and stuff in the Philippines, yeah, it could get really bad.
What's the population in Manila? How big of a city is that?
It's really congested. I don't know the exact number, but it's like really, really, really congested. And it's like, maybe it's like it's in the top 5 most populated countries.
We're talking millions.
In the world, Oh yeah. I think, way.
Yeah. That's what I pictured too, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Manila, you're in college, you're not going to class, you're smarter than your professors, calculus is bullshit. You take one day off a week where you decide no drinking. Monday's no drinking. It's Thursday, so we're week 3 into a 6-day drinking schedule. And you're having some wang wang.
The funny thing is, I wasn't going to class every day, but I was pretty strict about my going out habits at a certain time. We meet at 6, and I see you at 7.
You have your priorities down. You have your priorities down. Yeah, I'm not. So. Yeah.
I
might make it to class. But I will not miss the bar scene.
I'm gonna be there in that line.
Getting me some wang wang. Yeah. Okay.
Some wang wang.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so that specific night, we had there were some pills going around, and we had the wang wangs. Probably had like 7 pitchers of wang wangs and just tequila shots all over the place. It's always like that. It's just tequila shots. Some random guy will come to you, like, drink this whole thing of tequila. And so you just get really, fucked up. And so I was standing there having a conversation, a really loud conversation. It's going crazy around the bar. It's called Bar in this area. And because we're all animals in there. And there's this thing where, like, I forget what it is. It's in Tagalog, but they do this thing where you chant at a couple or a guy and a girl talking to each other. They'll chant this phrase, and then you would have to make out, right? So all of a sudden, this is happening in front of me, and we're going crazy. And then my friend next to me, who's probably a lot more fucked up than I am, this girl comes up to him, and she asks, can I borrow a lighter? And my friend gives her a lighter. She leaves to light her cigarette, comes back and gives back the lighter. And then my friend, being really drunk and stupid, comes up to me afterwards and be like, yo, dude, I gave that girl my lighter. I think she's really into me, man. Like, I gave her my lighter. I think she's trying to start something with me. And then, like, we started talking about this for like maybe 10 minutes at this point, just like on and on, going in circles. And I was like, dude, that's great. That's awesome. I hope, things happen. And then I get a text, and I check my phone. I get a text from one of my friends who was supposed to be standing to the right of me. And I check, and he's not there anymore. After I get the text, and he goes, hey, man, that girl that was talking to Kim, my friend Kim, who gave the lighter, his boyfriend, that girl's boyfriend, is in a frat called I can't say the name, but they're in a frat. It's a pretty big frat in Manila. It's like a really big frat, and frats in Manila are different. They're basically gangs.
Oh, okay. The frat / gang, aka gang.
Yeah. Like, it's so stupid. Like, frats, I know that there's some sort of culture in the States about frats, but in the Philippines, it's kind of like that. But also, like, initiation has gotten a lot of people killed. Man. Like, even recently. No. Yeah.
So it's a little more badass.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's really stupid. And it's a lot of just insecure, rich kids getting together. Because what it is that when you're in a fight or you feel like you hate this guy, you can call them, and then all 20 of you will beat up one guy because you're in a frat.
Wow. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think that I didn't do the frat scene. I was, way too much of a rebel and or sorority, that whole thing. But I think insecure rich kids certainly does. I think it fits in many situations here in the U.S. as well. You're looking for someplace to belong. Yeah. You're in college, and and then that gang mentality happens. That tribe mentality.
Oh, yeah.
We're right and you're wrong. We're good and you're bad. That whole bullshit. All right. So this dude's in a gang / frat, and
so I get a text, and he's like, he's in the name of he's in that frat, and he was like, you guys should leave. Because I left, and I was like, where are you? I texted him, where are you? like you were here like literally 2 minutes ago. He texted me. I wish he would have told me in person, but he texted me like, cause he left immediately after he saw that. Cause he had a friend of a friend who knew that guy. And the boyfriend, the guy in the frat, saw the girl talking to him, and then my friend getting really hype about it and being like, oh my God, that girl. And I was like, whatever. Like, I didn't understand what they were, what frats were.
Right. You didn't understand the implication, right? Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And I was like, oh, whatever. It's probably nothing. And so I go to the bathroom, and I come out of the bathroom, and all of a sudden all my friends are gone except for 2 of my friends. And I was like, where did everyone go? And they were like, I don't know. And then my one friend, he wasn't drinking the whole night. He was on some other substance. I can say what substance he was on, but I can't say his name. But he was on ecstasy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on ecstasy. So he was like, it just don't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Just you and me right here, right now.
Everything's
like, okay,
good.
That's fine.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Let's go hug a tree. Everything's
exactly.
good.
Yeah. Actually, both of them were. 2 of my friends were on ecstasy. There's the only people I had at the time.
It's a weeknight, and there's like wang wang and tequila and gangs and ecstasy. Oh my! Yeah. I'm just glad you made it out alive, Ronnie. Right
Me
now,
too.
I really am.
Oh well, I'll get to that.
Oh shit! Okay, all right.
Yeah. So it's just me and the 2 other friends, and they're on ecstasy, and I'm like, have 3, second memory spans, and I'm like, okay, let's go somewhere else. So we go across Taft, the big highway there.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking, and also remember, like I have a lot of what I was on at the time made me forget a lot of things.
Oh,
so
right.
Yeah.
Right,
so
right.
I have to piece a lot of it together. But so as I was trying to walk across, a car pulls up, a big van pulls up in front of me, cuts me off while I'm walking. And I was like, what's going on? And they started screaming at us, 3 of us. And they started screaming, and I was like, what's the deal? And I was like, what's going on? And I was just saying, what's up? And then all of a sudden 5 guys get out of the car and they surround us. And I was like, what's the deal? And then there's the girl that,
the lighter girl.
She's there. Yeah, the lighter girl. She's there. Yeah. And she's going, look, don't do anything. They're fucking crazy. Like, just you leave them alone. They're going to kill you, all this. And I was like, I don't know who you guys are. I don't know anything. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. And what are you, like, how freaked out are you? Like, at this point, is the wang wang and tequila and everything worn off? Or are you just messed up enough that you're kind of floating through it? Or are you really, do you know what I mean? Or are you really feeling it?
I think I hit my peak of intoxication during that point. So I was definitely not sober or in the right right space in my head. And because I wasn't scared, which is super unlike me. So that's how I knew I was definitely not sober. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So they are harassing us or yelling things at us. And my friend who's on ecstasy is like, hey guys, everyone stop. Everyone's like, come on, can we just get along? Can we just find peace in this?
Oh my God.
And I was like, we don't know what the problem is. We don't know what it is. And then a guy comes out, pulls a knife out of his pocket and brings it up to my neck. No. And he's holding it. Yeah, it's touching my skin at this point. And
this is like the beginning of like an 8-part Netflix series. I'm sorry. And then you get killed. We never find your murderer. Your parents are talking to the police. It's like it's called Murder in Manila. That's it.
That's a great name. Wow, that's a great name. Should write that down.
Yeah. It's what I do. All right. So now I'm sorry that I'm turning your horror into a TV show. Okay, so knife blade actually touching your neck.
Yeah, so it's touching my neck, and all of a sudden it gets really tense. And remember, I keep saying, I'm not me at this point, and I'm completely effed out of my head.
Yeah.
And I literally go, what the fuck do you want, man? Like, I'm not scared. Yeah. Okay. First of all, I would never say that. I would never say that.
But there is this school of thought. There's this school of thought. If you out crazy the crazy person, you know what I mean? That it can work. But if it doesn't work, you're screwed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
I don't think I was thinking that.
No, you weren't
thinking.
No, I don't think there was a lot of.
No, there was no logic really behind it. It was more like, what? Do it. Do it. I bet you won't. And he started looking at me like, what's wrong with this guy?
Did you actually say do it?
Yeah, I was saying do it. Like, I'm not scared. Do it. I don't give a fuck. Obviously, I would never say that in the right head.
In your right frame of mind,
Even if I had exactly. And he started looking at me kind of weird, like, okay, this is not the reaction I'm supposed to be getting out of this. And my friend who was on ecstasy starts grabbing his hand, the guy with the knife, and he's like, starts pulling it towards his neck. And he's going, take me.
It's like neither of you were thinking clearly, but what you did was the perfect thing to do. I mean, that's the thing. Am I right?
Yeah, well, yes. So he starts grabbing him and pulling the knife towards his neck. He's like, take me. He's young. And he's only like 2 years older than me. He's like,
I'm ancient.
He's so
I'm
young.
23.
My life is up. Just take me now, It's like, what are you doing? Stop. And they just got really freaked out. And they were just like, okay, this is not working. So, cops start patrolling down. So they disperse, they get in the car, and we think, oh crap, the cop saw that, we're gonna get in trouble, right? And they left. So the cop just drives by, and that was it. Nothing happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And right after that, I was talking really fast about it for 5 minutes, and then I collapsed, and I don't remember what else happened after that. And they threw me in a car, a taxi, and I went home. And I showed up at home.
Yeah, you collapsed because you'd had this huge adrenaline rush.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then also you had a lot of wang in you and some other pills that you took that you don't even know what they were.
Yeah.
So your body just collapsed.
Yeah, for sure. And
when you woke up, what did you remember?
Well, yeah, that was the funny thing is that when the next day we all had to piece things together. So we met up. Like, we need to talk about what happened last night because all of us, we were 10 and it ended up with 3 and we were all in different areas. And it turned out my friend Kim, who let the girl borrow the lighter, he left and was at some girl's apartment with a bunch of guys and he was throwing up in that girl's apartment's sink and he left and he went home. And then the guy who texted me, he immediately just went home. He got in the cab like, I'm not part of this, and just got out of there. And yeah, so we had to piece it together because of the holes in our memory. And that's when I found out the things that I said, when that happened. And
oh my God. And when you were told that, did you think, oh my God, I did not know I was that badass? Or did you think I'm an idiot? Or, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, did you get really scared in retrospect?
In retrospect, yeah. When my friend told me that I said that, that's when it hit me. Oh my God, something really bad could have happened last night.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't aware. And yeah, I mean, I may have played it up like, oh yeah, it's whatever. But in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I will never do that again.
Right, in your head, you've got to be cool.
Yeah, you got to be cool in college,
Right? But inside, you're like, shit, I almost died.
I want to go home.
I want to go home, Mom.
I'm gonna call my mom.
Mom, make me toast.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Yeah, so I haven't done that in a while.
So basically, you almost lost your life and you kind of lost your mind, right?
Yeah.
In terms of losing it, what you lost in that evening, right? Well,
100%. Maybe a little bit of my dignity as well. Throw that in there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I from the outside, I think you fucking rocked it. I mean, you were stupid to do all the things you did, but
yeah.
And obviously it could have gone really, it could have gone really bad.
Yeah, it could have.
Like a slit throat.
Yeah, and that was probably the most badass I've been in my life. So
and let's hope you peaked there.
I'm not trying. I'm not trying to find out how badass I could be. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not trying.
Right.
So
I'm just trying to stick to the bar schedule. That's all I'm doing.
You got to stick to my schedule. Work in between classes.
Did you go out the next night? That's really the important question.
I would imagine that I did for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine. Just to talk about the night before.
I was going to say, and did like news of this spread throughout, the
yeah, like it went around, like, other kids found out about it, and then they were like, what happened? Because it involved a lot of people. Like, it started out with 10, and then, they heard about what happened to me, and they were like, oh my God, I had no idea. I was like, I was hooking up with this girl while you were almost killing, getting,
Yeah. And saying, face. Do it. Well,
yeah.
did you suddenly have like this street cred and people just looked at you completely differently? Did you get any dates? That's really the question.
I think I might have slid it in every now and then. Like, yeah, that happened, but like whatever.
Right. Let's just float it. Let's just float it out on this date. And see how it lands.
You probably heard about it, but like I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it. But
exactly.
Oh, that time I almost got killed. Yeah. No. Oh no. Never mind. No, we don't have to go into it.
Yeah, I don't like to think about it. It's fine. It's whatever.
All right. Wow, that's a good story, Ronnie. I mean, obviously it's a good story because, go ahead.
Yeah, you could tell why I was, reluctant.
Yeah. But because it has such a great ending, do you know what I mean?
I know.
I mean, nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even like...
Maybe our brain cells, that's probably...
Oh, yeah, your hippocampus was fucked up. But that was, knife or no knife, that was the case.
Yeah.
But that's the amazing thing, that nobody got hurt. It's not even like you saved your ass, but your friend got hurt, or you saved your ass, but one of the guys in the fraternity got hurt. Like,
yeah,
I particularly love, because in my mind, I'm always like, writing a screenplay or a multi-plots, multi-episode series. I love the scene of the cop car just cruising by. The cop car just keeps going.
That says a lot about Manila and the Philippines. I
was just going to say, welcome to the Philippines. That's
exactly. That's exactly
just kidding. I love you, Philippines. I sound like an ugly American. Wow. Okay, so here's the question. What'd you learn from that? Or did you learn anything? I mean, maybe not at the time, but looking back, do you think this is what I learned from it, or this is what I walked away with? Or if you didn't learn anything, what might you tell somebody else? Like, hey kids, don't do too much wang wang, or...
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess, I've definitely learned a lot. One of the like key things I learned was my friend who left immediately, always have my eye on that guy, because he understands the surrounding. If he left, I should be leaving too, So I thought that I learned that. That's
a good thing to know, though, that this guy knows what it should, even if he's messed up, he knows what's going on. He's got like a radar.
Yeah. He knows where the exit is, at any point. So
always, listeners, always know where the exit is.
Always.
Yes. Okay, good.
And also, it's hard to know. The funny thing about alcohol is that, especially when you're young, is that when you have no idea, you have no knowledge of alcohol or the experience that you could have, you try to find how far you can go with it, right? Until you try to find that point. And the funny thing is that when you're a bunch of kids who are really young and don't know that point yet, you're all finding out all at the same time.
Right, yeah.
And it can lead to really horrible things. It can also lead to some pretty cool memories, but it can get pretty disastrous.
Yeah. It's like you're all on a really icy slope, and you're sliding towards the edge, and you might go off the edge, but you might not. Right? And the crazy
thing is, in the Philippines, it's crazy. The access you can get to alcohol is super insane.
And
like,
is it a big part of the culture?
It's a huge part of the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge part of it. And there's 7-Elevens everywhere, and all the 7-Elevens are 24 hours, and they sell liquor.
Yeah.
And they sell, beer. You can get anything at any point.
Yeah.
You can get it. And college, I think they changed this, but college used to start you would graduate high school when you were 16, and you would start college when you were 16.
Oh, yeah. So you're really going into that. You're really not ready for that much freedom at that age.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, yeah, exactly. And the stories I've heard of some kids who've spent only 1 semester or 1 year there and had to come back because of something that happened. You know what I mean? It's very common, just because you're way too young, and the access to alcohol and drugs at the time it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've learned about that factor of Manila and the Philippines, and I learned that, I had to go through the shit to learn it, right? So I know to stay away from it now.
Yeah.
But that is something that concerns me for a lot of kids. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't really drink, even in high school. There were when they were having spooey parties, and a lot of people smoked a lot of pot. I just never really I never went down that road. Not that I didn't do those things, but it was never my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but man, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And
it is.
And I started teaching writing at at Writers Gotham Workshop in 2015, and a lot of my students are millennials. And so, and I was teaching humor writing, and I cannot tell you how many essays people would write about day drinking, or showering with their clothes on because they're blackout drunk, and the stories are funny, but they're also really scary. Do you know what I mean?
There's an underlying dark tone there.
Yeah, because it's funny, it's sort of really funny until someone puts their eye out. It's funny until someone ends up dead or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
or addicted.
Addicted.
Yeah.
Exactly. And And so which leads me to the question, obviously there's rehab here, and there's 12-step programs here, and all of that. What's the culture around that in the Philippines? If somebody needs to get help, do they get help, or is there stigma against it, or do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, there is definitely, the thing is, it's Asian. It's an Asian culture, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's very, it's hard to say, it's not, as Asians, we're not up in your face,
Right.
And we may judge you silently. We'll give you a look or whatever, right? So because I have friends who've been to rehab at a young age because of substances and stuff, and in the community, it's always been oh, you're about that guy, he didn't take a vacation, he didn't take a summer off, he was in Hong Kong, rehab.
Yeah.
And rehab is definitely a thing that's happening. I have a couple of friends that have gone to it. Honestly, it's a little too common for me to have at this point, just because it's just the culture is really a little bit, dodgy.
Yeah.
But it is a thing. It is a thing. A lot of people go overseas for it, just because it's better.
Yeah. Let's just go to Hong Kong. So he went to Hong Kong is code for he went to rehab.
Exactly. Yeah. Went to Hong Kong for a summer.
It's in Hong Kong. Wink, wink. Yeah. All right. So that's a good story. That's a good story because you survived it, and it had a lot of twists and turns, and oh my God. And I love the lesson that you learned of this guy, the guy who left, I'm going to stay close to him because he gets the vibe before anybody else.
Yeah. He's smart.
Yeah. So does he get less fucked up than other people, or is he just
100%.
Hello.
He's a smart guy.
Right. So he's and you can be really smart and still do way too many drugs. Do you know what I mean? Or way too much alcohol. But the fact that this guy's he's keeping a lid on it, and he's like,
yeah. He's like,
Ronnie, I'm out of here. He doesn't even tell you. He just texts you. I'm done.
Exactly. I appreciate the text.
Yeah.
I'd rather the text. It
That's
means I've
fantastic.
slipped up.
Time to go. Good.
Yeah.
All right. So, as I think you know, we end each podcast with 3 questions. And those 3 questions are, and you can answer them in any order.
Okay.
What do you hope to lose in the next year? What do you hope to gain in the next year? And what do you hope you never lose?
Okay. So the first one is what I hope to lose. What do I hope to lose this year?
Within the within the year.
Within the year. That's hard. I mean, lose. I guess I would lose something that I'd hate, right?
Yeah, or sometimes you want to lose, like, a fear, like, this belief that I blah blah blah. I want to lose my tendency to stay in too much, or I want to lose my fear of being out there, or I want to lose whatever. Like, let's say if I was going to talk about what I wanted to lose within the year, I would say I want to lose any residual sort of old messages in my head that tell me I'm not enough, and that tell me I'll be enough when I get this certain thing or do this certain thing. I want to lose those old messages.
Yeah.
And what I want to gain is more just complete self-acceptance and love and compassion for others. I mean, I know it sounds really crazy, but those are the things. And obviously what I hope I never lose is my connection with people and laughter. Those are my things, like, that are my, the most important.
Yeah.
So there's my examples, and now big pressure.
I feel like I have the same thing for what I would want to lose. Like the messages, yes, but I feel like it's also like it's the certain things. I want to lose the idea of needing something before I can get something else. You know what I mean? Like the excuse. Yeah, that's what I really want to lose, just because it's so easy to make up. It's a lot easier to make up an excuse than actually do the work. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And I've become pretty good at making the excuse. But I know that I've progressed to the point where I'm catching myself, which is good. Where I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. This is just another excuse. In reality, there's probably nothing, stopping you or in your way. So definitely that. Good. And what I would like to gain. Yeah. What I'd like to gain, I think what I would like to gain is to live my everyday life, or work towards my ideal everyday life more. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like work on that more. Instead of settling and then, saying, oh, I'll figure it out later. Yeah, figure it out tomorrow. Every day, exactly. Yeah. Every day I'm trying to make my, ideal life happen. Yeah. Working, doing what you can in the present to make your ideal life happen. Exactly. Yeah. That's a good one. Those are both good. And something you hope you never lose. Something I hope I never lose, honestly, it's probably just the relationships I make, because, I meet a lot of people, right? Going from one country to another, and then, meeting people, especially like even on the internet sometimes I have make relationships with. I just hope, the people that really matter stay. You know what I mean? Like the people that really make a difference stay. Yeah. And, I hope nothing that on their end or my end causes us to fall out of anything. Because I've always hated that. I'm always a guy that, like, tries to fix something. If it was someone else's fault, I'll try to fix it first, just because, it's not worth it sometimes to lose a relationship. Yeah. That's great. I like all 3 of those, and I really relate to them as well. And and it's interesting what you said about, doing today, what was it? How did you put it? Working on today. Yeah, no, but you said something else has to happen before this has to happen, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it was like, that's how I got to you. Like, I kept like, I can't do the podcast. It's too much. And so it was sort of like I was trying to push a rock uphill, or, go up a slippery, and I just simply couldn't do it. And it was like, well, when I have more time, I'll look for a producer. Or when I kept putting it off, and I was like, no, just
email boss today. And then like 126, like there we were, and we were moving forward and on all these different fronts. And it was so beautiful. But I had been thinking about that and sort of rationalizing myself around that for solid 6 months, maybe more, maybe 10 months. Yeah. So yeah, I hear you. Right on.
Yeah, I feel like I do that with like everything, like almost everything. Like I'll take a shower this morning, or, I got to do this before I take my shower. It's like small things I'll do that with. And I feel like, it stops us from doing things like life is, in the sense, a video game that, ends when it ends. But then you can manipulate things, to help you and help you have a better life. Your points are your happiness,
Yeah.
So like people think it's like out of their control, but it's completely 100% in your control.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also I like this whole idea that there's the right thing to do. Like I have to do the dishes before I take a shower, or I have to take a shower before I do the dishes, or, whatever, that sort of bullshit thing because I haven't worked out in 3 days. And so like I have managed to not work out 3 days in a row because it's like, oh, well, no, because I have to clean the kitchen or because I have to whatever.
Yeah.
And again, it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
And and it's okay. I can still love myself even though I didn't work out 3 days in a row. So I think we did this, Ronnie. I think we killed it.
I think it's pretty solid.
I think it's pretty solid. Yeah. Good story.
Yeah, it's a very funny introduction.
That's a good story. Yeah. Welcome back. We're back. Losing It is back. We have a new producer. We're international now because we have a young man from the Philippines who's had some wild experiences. He knows what he's doing. If it weren't for him, I would not have a microphone in front of me and earphones in my head. Or what are these? They're not earphones. They're earphones. They're not like earbuds.
These are headphones, I'd say. That's what I
Earphones, you're right. Earphones, headphones. See, if it weren't for Ronnie, I wouldn't know what these fucking things were called. All right, guys. Love you. That episode ended, right?
Just ended, yeah.
Well, my God, that was a lot of fun. Did you have fun?
I did have fun. I just want to say that I fixed a lot of quality stuff. There's going to be a huge difference from that episode and what we're recording right now. We have two phones recording us separately. We have better video. And then my microphone, during that episode, I turned up the volume all the way up so that it was I worked it out. It was listenable, but now it's going to sound like, I'm a recording artist. So
yeah, like Ronnie, because we were just like sort of, just barely getting
it was
together.
The first one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the good news is we thought we were going to have to redo it, but then we realized that I had the Zoom recording of it.
That's right.
So it was awesome because full disclosure, I had forgotten to push record on my Audacity in my computer. Ronnie was like, "Do you have Audacity?" I'm like, "Yeah." But he didn't say, "Did you push record?" Which not that it was his fault. I messed up.
Well, I was looking up after we did that episode. I remember we were talking about the Wang Wang.
The Wang Wang.
Right? Yeah. So I talked to a couple friends about it just because like I forgot how crazy that drink was, and it was being served to like kids. So I looked up the ingredients.
Oh my Lord, I'm scared.
I have the ingredients here. So it says there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different liquors in here.
Which is what a 16-year-old brain needs, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scotch, brandy, rum, bourbon, vodka, and tequila. And then there's orange juice and pineapple juice. Just to help you get it down,
Yeah, and you want some vitamin C. And it's nice. The pineapple gives it a little bit of a tropical feel. So it's festive.
It's in the tropics. The Philippines is in the tropics.
Exactly. So you gotta have pineapple juice. I mean, it wouldn't have cranberry juice. I mean, you gotta be in New England.
If you're gonna forget your night, might as well, taste good.
Oh yeah. So, and when you have 6 different kinds of hard liquor, you better put something sweet in there to make it be able to go down.
God, the hangovers I'm just reminded of now. Just all that sugar the next
that
day.
sugar. Well, yeah, because you've got the sugar that all. I mean, isn't it like doesn't all alcohol metabolize as sugar?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but rum definitely does because rum is like made from sugar cane. And
That
got
makes sense.
rum in it, and then you've got the pineapple, which is a lot of sugar, and orange juice, which is
and it says here orange juice and pineapple juice, but there was no real orange juice or pineapple. It was all powdered stuff. It was just Kool-Aid.
Right. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Because a group of insane 16-year-olds going, well, I'm not drinking it without the orange juice, right? They're
exactly.
Like, who's got the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, exactly. Who's got the Kool-Aid and the Scotch, brandy, rum, bourbon, vodka, and tequila?
Yeah, and I think it's like one kid brings the Scotch from their parents' house, somebody else brings the tequila from, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
That's probably how it happened. I mean, that's what you were saying. That's what you guys do.
Spooey party. A spooey party. Yeah.
Right?
So scary. So, which leads me to the idea that if anybody out there has a good story about some weird drink that you drank in high school. I had spooey, Ronnie had wang wang. So email us. Tell us about it.
Yes.
Tell us what was in it. Tell us how many things you did that you regretted while you were doing it. Stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think, so what we're going to do is we're going to have people, you can email us at losingitcontact@gmail.com. And you can email us the story, and we'll read it at the end of episodes.
Exactly.
A week after.
So it can be a losing it story about whatever, but sort of feeling inspired by your insane night with a knife to your throat. Thank you very much. If you lost your shit a little bit because maybe you drank a little too much wang wang, that I think we'd love to hear that. I mean, losing it in any category, but I feel a little inspired that I'd like to hear, because if you're emailing us, you're still alive. So
yeah, so that's good.
I'm pretty sure it ended pretty well, right?
Yeah, honestly, if we got a story about a crazy night like that, then I wouldn't feel as bad. So.
I think I told you about my one student who when she was taking my humor writing class, it's like, and then the time I woke up in the shower and the shower was still going. I mean, it was just like one blackout story after another. It's a scary thing.
I know it is. I know.
I've never had a blackout drunk ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even one time?
Not one time. Not one time.
You're lucky.
No, I grew up with pot smoking brothers, and I smoked some pot, but I was never much of a drinker, and I was never going to be out of control at a party. That was not me. I always wanted to be in control of my faculties, and I was not going to be the drunk girl crying in the corner. Not interested. Although I had a friend that was quite often the drunk girls crying in the corner.
Oh, you were the girl taking care of her?
No. This friend of mine that was often the drunk girl crying in the corner always got laid. Like, she always got the cute guys. Like, the cute guys were always like, they would swoop in. I mean, looking back in this Me Too era, it was
I was going to say.
No. But in the 1970s, it was like, why does she get all the cute guys? Like that's what an idiot I was. And that we all were, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way. It's like, oh, stupid. Well, let's call her Helen. Stupid Helen with her pouting. She got to go home with Mark last night. She probably didn't remember it, but she was popular.
Popular in quotes.
In quotes. And by the way, today she's about like she's 20 years sober. So, yeah, Helen.
Well, that took a turn.
It took a turn, and then it took another turn. It took a turn
for the better.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah, let's call her Helen, not her real name. Not her.
Yeah.
Did you hear my puppy? What?
She growling?
This is how she says, "I want to go on a walk." That's her thing. Kelly, what, baby? Yeah, now she won't talk. So losing it stories, and give them that email again, Ronnie.
losingitcontact@gmail.com. Just losing it, just spell it.
Spell it how it should be spelled. No weird spelling, no Z's, no apostrophes.
Just losingitcontact@gmail. And you can also, find out more information on nelsiespencer.com.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Ronnie just redid my website, which if any of you have seen my old website, it looked like a 3-year-old did it with a glue stick and some construction paper. And so I have a fabulous new website, and we have a fabulous new logo. Can you hear her? Can you hear her,
Yeah,
Ronnie?
we can hear you.
That's Callie. Ever present, ever barking. So new logo, new website. And like Ronnie said, if the audio isn't perfect on this one, next week
it gets better.
It gets so much better. Next week it's going to sound like, I don't know, it's going to sound like a professional person. Ronnie was in charge. So there you go.
With my shit together. So
yeah, Ronnie with his shit together, and me with a mic, and so it's going to be special. Mm-hmm. Am I right? Anything else? Any other disclaimers after listening to it? Do you feel like, are you embarrassed? Are you worried that your parents are going to listen?
Oh yeah, that was the number one concern. I was like, oh man, my parents have no idea. They have no idea this ever happened.
And nor should they.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
so are they gonna,
let's see.
Are they gonna
I've
listen?
talked to my dad about the podcast, and he was very excited about it. And I'm sure he's going to want to hear it. And then when he sees that my name is in the title, he's going to be like, oh, interesting. And then we're probably going to have a conversation after that. But
well, the good news is those were your wild times.
Yeah.
You've survived them. Now, right? There was a pause there. Does that mean you think you have more wild times in your future?
I'm just being cautious. I don't want to be the guy that says, oh, it's all over now, and then I'm in Tijuana next week or something.
And with your Calvin Kleins on your head and
yeah, exactly,
singing La Cucaracha.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So, Good point.
Yeah. I mean, my dad has definitely had some of his own time, so
Yeah, and then maybe this will get him to to share it.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be going, Wang Wang! I love Wang Wang! I met your mother after 3 cups of Wang Wang.
Exactly.
We served Wang Wang at the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to name you Wang Wang. But your mother wouldn't have it.
Oh, yeah. Bad memories. Wang Wang.
Well, the fact that you have memories is a miracle.
Very little.
Yeah.
Very
very few memories. There you go. So so we've got some great guests coming up. We have
Zach.
We have Zach Scow.
That's the next one.
Yeah, he's from Marley's Mutts, and if you guys are not following him either on Facebook or on Instagram on Marley's Mutts, he's amazing. Like an animal rescue guy, and he's got a hell of a story, right? He's got a great story.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, speaking of intoxication and
speaking of not being able to remember entire swaths of your life. And that's I don't want to make light, but so we've got him, we've got Trisha coming, and she's a travel blogger, and she's fascinating, and Calvin Tucker, who's another animal rescue. Full disclosure, sometimes the way I make it through the pandemic is I just watch videos about little skinny dogs who get rescued and end up in their forever home. So I'm like, I'm following this guy. I'm getting this guy on the podcast. So and they're always awesome. Like whoever decides to devote their life to that, they've got an interesting story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So are we done? Did we do it?
Yeah.
Are we fabulous?
We're fabulous.
We're fabulous.
All
right. So we'll see you guys next week. Be kind to yourself and others. And that's all I got. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Losing it. You came and you listened to the story. I hope so much that it didn't make you sorry, and I hope so much that you'll come back again.
Losing It, hosted by Nelsie Spencer. Produced by me, Ronnie Whaley. Theme song by Hunter Williams. Follow us online on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all podcasting platforms at Losing It Podcast. Viewers can email Nelsie with questions or comments about life, writing, comedy, or even your own Losing It story for a chance to be on the Losing It Podcast at losingitcontact@gmail.com. For everything Nelsie and everything Losing It, visit us at nelsiespencer.com.